Huh. Shoot. I'm trying to name this. Okay, let's get my stuff ready. Okay. When people get here, I'm talking about bipolar disorder and making walnut tacos. So, stuff together. Don't my stuff together. It's hot as shit in there. Hi. Please see. This one. And walnuts. Going to be cooking some walnut tacos. Should have texted Joe sometime. Hi guys! I'm just getting everything ready to make raw walnut tacos. So, and then we'll talk about bipolar disorder. If you guys don't already know the channel or are new. Smoked paprika. Ooh, it's hot in here. Hey, what's up, Hess? It's been a long time. I haven't seen you. What is bipolar? Stephen King. Bipolar disorder is a mood disorder characterized by extreme highs and extreme lows. And some people can experience what's called psychosis, which is completely detached from reality. It's when you see things, hear things, believe things that are not true. You can even taste things or smell things that are not real. And so today I'm going to be making raw walnut tacos and talking to you guys about bipolar disorder. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Hi, Deadens. Just getting my stuff together. Talk amongst yourselves until I come back, please. Let me see. It's coconut aminos, liquid aminos. I'm making a sandwich. Right on. Sandwiches are good. I don't need a lot of those because I am vegan. These are vegan tacos. You don't have to be vegan to make them. They're really tasty. My channel is called Bipolar Person, and I live with bipolar disorder, and I have had it since I was my whole life, but I wasn't diagnosed until 8 years ago. So I have a lot of horrible experiences because of my bipolar disorder. So if you are interested in learning about what that's like, I have videos on my channel about all of my psychotic episodes. It's 12:35 Pacific Standard Time. So let me think. Onions, walnuts. There's something else I'm missing. Peppers. 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 It's 1 a.m. here. Oh, you must be on the other side of the world. Where are you, Stephen King? So feel free to tell me where you guys are from. I really love to hear if people are in a different part of the some of my regulars I forgot to message and let them know, so hopefully we get a good crowd today. I'm not sure how long I'll be doing this live, but if you have any questions about bipolar disorder, let me know. I don't have a mod, so if something starts happening in the, well, I don't know if I have a moderator today, so if something's happening in the chat that is inappropriate, I will deal with it myself. But yes, I have lived with bipolar disorder my entire life. I was not diagnosed until 8 years ago. I have experienced 4 severe psychotic episodes where I was completely out of my mind. When a lot of people think about bipolar disorder, they think, oh, that person's just moody, or that person has an awful personality, or that person is a pain in the ass to deal with. And it's not like that. We can live very normal lives with medication. We do experience a lot of symptoms. When our symptoms are active, we can completely turn into a different person. And if we're on medication, that doesn't happen. But since I wasn't diagnosed until 8 years ago, I have a lot of episodes with of me becoming a completely different person. So I don't know if you guys know this, but if you don't want to cry so bad with onions, put on sunglasses when you cut them. So today I'm making raw walnut tacos. Have a question: what would be a good tip for a younger man, 20s? Oh Jesus. Okay, so we're not talking about dating or anything like that. This is all about mental health and bipolar disorder. So if you are tempted to leave something in the comments regarding anything that relates to dating or anything like that, it's not really needed or necessary, and I will remove it. So, but yeah, if you guys don't know, put on sunglasses when you're chopping onions and you won't be crying as much. So I am vegan, so I make a lot of vegan recipes, and this is one of my favorites. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of shit in here. Oh, here we go. Videos are on this channel. Okay. All right. So I do apologize for any nonsense in the chat. Like I said, I don't have a moderator. I didn't notify a lot of my regular people that tend to come to the lives, and this one I just kind of like did on the fly. So hopefully we don't get too much more nonsense in there. But I just put 2 cups of raw walnuts into my food processor, and I am putting, and I put a half an onion, half a large onion. I'm going to put a little more onion. And then I'm going to put, my eyes that are starting to water. I'm going to put some sriracha, and this is chipotle chili seasoning. This is always really good. I'm just going to put a bunch of it in here. And then, hey Sharko, hey Ephraim. I'm sorry you're having an episode right now. Do you find that focus and concentration has been bad since your psychosis? I feel like it has for me. I can't concentrate at work and listen to webcams. Sorry, the onions get me. I'm actually highly allergic to onions. Yes, the longer you are in psychosis or depression, you lose gray matter in your brain with bipolar disorder. Parts of your brain start to deteriorate, and that can affect your focus and your concentration and your memory. But the good news is there are ways to actually, there are things that have been shown to increase gray matter in the brain, to essentially grow it back, like meditation and exercise. So even though, like for me example, I have a horrible memory because I have been in psychosis a lot in my life, and my last episode lasted a year prior to being medicated. And so I forget stuff all the time. But when I'm going to yoga regularly, I'm able to focus better. The mindfulness helps me calm down, and just like the exercise and meditation really helps. I don't know if it's the same for schizophrenia. That's what I have. I'm pretty sure it's the same for schizophrenia. Because psychosis is psychosis. But I don't know for a fact, so I would Google that. But I'm pretty sure it's probably the exact same thing. Like the longer you're in a schizophrenic episode, the more gray matter you lose in your brain. If I'm wrong, let me know. So can you please Google that right now? Because I can't. And then let me know if I'm wrong. Going to the beach relieves episodes. Yes, anything that you enjoy helps episodes. And being in nature helps you divert symptoms. It is really hot in here. What's the weather like where you guys are? It's 80. I'm in Long Beach. It's like 80 right now, which that's not really that bad, I don't think. Okay, so back to this. I put 2 cups of walnuts, half of a large purple onion, some smoked paprika. Oh no, I didn't do the smoked paprika yet. Smoked paprika, chipotle, chili, spice, and I'm going to put a tiny bit of liquid aminos. You can use soy sauce too. This is a healthier version of soy sauce. I'm going to put like a tablespoon of that. Maybe 2. Yeah. Oh, that's what I forgot. I forgot my sun-dried tomatoes. So the main ingredients are sun-dried tomatoes and sun-dried tomatoes and walnuts. So I just get, so the 2 cups of raw walnuts, right? And then I get one of these from Ralph's. It's 7 degrees, cloudy, and feels like fall. You're lucky. I wish it was that. Actually, I don't. I like the heat, but it is hot in my kitchen running around. I've never taken Latuda. Have I taken Latuda? I took one recently for a little bit, but it didn't, I didn't take it long enough to see any real effects from it. Should we talk about medication for a minute? Because I'm actually making some changes to my medication. I have decided that I want to focus more on doing things that keep me healthy mentally versus keep adding more and more meds. I have a medication that is absolutely necessary that I cannot go off of no matter what, and that is my Lamictal, and I'm on the max dose of that, and according for max dose that my psychiatrist will prescribe of that. Some doctors prescribe a higher dose, but that I have to take. I can't change that. That's my mood stabilizer, and that is something that I will be taking the rest of my life. But I was also recently diagnosed with ADHD. And so for that, I've been prescribed atomoxetine. So I don't, these are peppers. Hold on. Very strong chili peppers. Very strong. But as you can see, this recipe and thing is going to take like a total of like 15 minutes if I can figure out how to put this together. Which I think it's on there wrong. But yeah, so hey, Refused says that we're different in terms of our psychosis. Yeah, we're definitely different in terms of our psychosis because schizophrenia is a thought disorder and bipolar disorder is a mood disorder. So with schizophrenia, excuse me one second, my nose is running. My nose is running. I got a nose job like in my mid-20s, and ever since then my nose runs. If I inhale something hot or eat something hot. But yeah, so schizophrenia is much more verbal hallucinations. But does it say about the gray matter in your brain changing? Yeah, and schizophrenia is ongoing. It's not episodic, unless you're schizoaffective type. But I think pretty much even schizoaffective, it's constant. And I don't know how well. I would love to hear from you, Charco, how your medication works. Does it take away all of your symptoms? Do you have days where you don't hear any voices, or is it pretty much your voices are always there and they're just muted when you're on medication? I would love to know the answer to that, just in case anybody ever asks me. Because from my understanding, the voices are pretty much always around. But okay, so I'm making raw walnut tacos. So again, I put 2 cups of raw walnuts. I can make vegan pasta on a different day. I put half of a purple onion. I put smoked paprika, chipotle chili powder, and then some hot chilies and some tablespoon of liquid aminos. Oh, and then a bag of this. But let me get back to my thought, what I was saying. Oh, so medication. I was saying I'm gonna talk to my doctor. You should never just go off of medication. I'm gonna talk to my doctor about going off of the atomoxetine, because I don't know if I really need to be on ADHD medication in addition to my mood stabilizer. I know I have ADHD, and I know that it's very life impacting in terms of my focus and being able to follow on conversations with people and complete tasks. But I'm on so many, I went from 1 medication to 5. So I'm taking the atomoxetine, and I'm taking an antipsychotic, which for years I was not taking an antipsychotic. And antipsychotics have a lot of side effects, and sometimes there is no way to get around it. You have to take an antipsychotic. For me personally, I did well for 5 years, and I wasn't taking. I had a lot of blow-ups. I did have a lot of blow-ups, but I didn't have any psychotic symptoms until my dog was killed in front of me, and I didn't sleep for 3 days. Sleeping is absolutely necessary with bipolar disorder. I would imagine with schizophrenia too. Took myself off of. What did you take yourself off of, Ephraim? I wasn't able to feel human on them. And did you take yourself off of your medications with your doctor? So I'm taking Geodon for in addition to my Lamictal, and it was working really well in terms of the blow-ups, like my uncontrollable anger, because I also have PTSD. And I just kind of like see red when I get angry and blow up, and it's very unhealthy and it's very hurtful to my husband, because he is the one receiving all of that. But I really want to go off of the Geodon if I can. So I'm going to talk to my doctor about it. She has assured me that it is very low risk for diabetes, but my mom had diabetes, and I'm prone to diabetes because of that. And so I worry about that medication, but I've tried to go off of it a couple of times, and I had to go right back on it. But recently my doctor increased the dose because I was having side effects and not sleeping from quitting marijuana, because I was an avid marijuana smoker for many years. I quit. I don't take it at all anymore, and I feel much better. And I would highly recommend, if you are somebody who has a mental health issue, or anybody should try to get off marijuana if you can, because it affects our brain in a lot of ways, and it especially affects those of us with mental illness. Sometimes it helps people. It's a very person-to-person thing, but it is dangerous if you have them. It's dangerous, the amount of marijuana that you can get nowadays. The concentrations of it are so high that it is dangerous. People are experiencing weed-induced psychosis all of the time. Too long to copy and paste, but Google says that the schizophrenia has a more pronounced level of gray matter reduction in certain areas than bipolar, where it is more restricted to emotional processing regions. Okay, that makes sense. So you were on Latuda, Ephraim. For a question about how my mental illness affects me, I don't have voices, delusions, or hallucinations, just depressed. Anhedonia, I don't know that word ever since coming out of psychosis. Coming out of psychosis and healing from that is a huge process, and it takes a long time. Every single time I had a psychotic episode, it took me 2 years to get over it, to get back to feeling like myself again, because of the shame and the guilt and the embarrassment and just processing all of the trauma. So if you have already been depressed for a couple of years since coming out of your psychosis, know that it does take a while to start to feel like yourself again. It took me 2 years every single time. Maybe when I went on medication for the first time, it was still 2 years. It was still 2 years. I was gonna say maybe it was only a year, but it was still 2 years. And it's hard. It's hard to rebuild your life when we're in psychosis. We do things that we are unproud of, and it causes so much embarrassment, so much shame and guilt. We lose friendships, we lose family members, we lose all of these things. Sometimes we destroy our entire lives and lose job, lose our home, all kinds of things. So recovering from psychosis is a very long process, and a lot of people, I think family members should know that, because it's really hard to, you want to think that, oh, they're on medication now, so they're okay, but they're not. We mask and we hide our emotions, and we don't share with the people around us how desperately we are hurting, because we don't want to be a burden and because we feel bad about ourselves. So lack of enjoyment in things that you used to love. Yeah, so it'll get better. It'll get better, Sharko. It just takes time. And you know, rebuilding is hard, and it just makes us better. But like I said, it took me a couple of years every single time, so you're not alone. And I think that if you can, I know it's really hard to do, especially when you're depressed, but if you can exercise, even just walking around your neighborhood will help. Just going for a 15-minute walk, it will help. And those things can help the gray matter in your brain regenerating. Exercise and meditation. So, but I know how hard it is when you're in depression and you don't really want to do anything, and it really sucks. When I didn't play piano for 7 years. 7 whole years, something that I absolutely love. I did not touch for 7 years, because, and I get emotional about it if I talk about it too much, but because I feel like bipolar stole that from me. Stole 7 years that I could have been getting better, that I could have been writing songs, that I could have been developing my skill, just gone, because I was too depressed to do it. So that's another thing that we deal with, feeling like years of our life are stolen from us. But it gets better. It does get better. So, okay, I'm gonna put some hot sauce in this. Again, you guys, 2 cups of walnuts, half of onion. I think I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons. I only put 1 tablespoon of liquid aminos, but I'm gonna put another one. And then I put smoked paprika, hot chilies, chipotle powder, seasoning. Ooh, you know what I didn't put? I didn't put garlic. I forgot about garlic. I'm gonna put some garlic in there too. Hold on for that. Hold on. And I don't need salt because I put in liquid aminos, which is basically salt. But yeah, does anybody have any questions about bipolar disorder or anything you need help dealing with? I have a story that's pretty happy. I thought I lost a lot of really good friends through the years because of my episodes. I had a Facebook account for years that I was connected with a lot of people who I really loved and cared about, but I also had a ton of fake people that I knew from when I worked in media, because I used to work in Santa Monica, and I used to have a good job buying airtime on behalf of clients on national television networks. And it's a very social job, and you go to a lot of parties, and the sales reps at the networks will take you out and schmooze you because they want the money that you are going to spend on their network. So I used to do that, and it was a very fun job. And then I lost my job because of my mental illness, and it's a very small community. So I will never ever be able to do that job again, ever. It's that career, it killed my career. I have a video on my YouTube channel about my lengthy lack of career, but I lost my thought. I was talking about something before that, if you guys know what it was. Yeah. Yeah, you can end up homeless from a lot of people that you see on the street with mental illness that haven't been treated. Sometimes you'll see people talking to themselves or, you know, disheveled, and you'll think that they're on drugs, and really they're in the middle of a psychotic episode. And these are things that medically happen to us, that our brain is not functioning. Just like somebody who has diabetes and their blood isn't working, then the electricity in our brain is not working. So we do things that are really awful. Oh, that's what I was telling you guys about. So I used to have this Facebook account, right? And I got really sick of all the fakeness on there. So I deleted the account. This was years ago. And I didn't think about all the really important people that I love and care about that I would be leaving behind. The people that I just thought, well, if we're really that close, I have their phone number in my phone. But things happen, and I changed my phone number, and I lost touch with quite a few people. And recently, one of my friends, randomly, somebody that is really important to me, somebody that I really care about, I really love her, known her for a very long time. She came across one of my YouTube shorts, and she messaged me, and I opened a secret Facebook account so I could talk to her because I couldn't get a hold of her. But yeah, so I recently reconnected with somebody. I just talked to her today that I really, really care about. So the moral of the story is, you never know who's gonna be in your life. Just because you lose a friend today because of your mental illness doesn't mean that you're not going to see them in the future. I also had a friend who I felt was ghosting me, somebody that I've known for years, and I was really upset. And the other day I had a moment and I unfollowed her on Instagram. And the next morning she called me, and I wasn't able to pick up the phone because I was in the middle of a depressive episode. It was the video that I wrote about the video that I made a couple of days ago about how I was lonely and depressed. But she called and I couldn't pick up. So I texted her and I told her, you know, hey, I really thought you didn't want to be friends anymore. And I know you're busy and stuff, you know, you have family and a life and everything. And you know, I get it, but like, you didn't respond to my messages and you made me feel like you didn't want to be my friend anymore. And she messaged me back and she's like, I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were feeling that way. I did not mean to, I'm horrible at keeping in touch. And so she said, you know, that she didn't even know that she had hurt me so bad. So I didn't actually lose that friendship. So that made me feel really good. So the last 2 days, I've been feeling much better than 3 days ago when I made the video about how lonely and depressed I was. But we have episodes, like, and we have mood shifts often, and it's extreme high to extreme low. So sometimes when we get really, really depressed, we don't even want to shower. We don't want to get out of bed. We sleep for 18 hours a day. We go mute and don't really say much to those around us. So it's really hard. I did as well as I wrote. Hi, Angel John. You have a new account, Yvonne. Nice to see you. It's been a while. I relate to when I was deep in psychosis. I thought that my cousin was the love of my life and went to London to see her. I didn't see her. I was just taking buses and trains randomly. Yeah, and that's another symptom. We can have obsessions with people. I had an obsession with a guy that I met in 2 of my episodes. The same guy. I'm completely obsessed with him. Thought that he was doing things for me that were surprises, and even though he wasn't even around, I thought if I saw something like a teddy bear in a parking lot that somebody had discarded, I thought, oh, he left that there for me to tell me that he loves me. And it wasn't the case at all. I was completely delusional. So our brains can tell us these things that are really messed up, and it sucks. Totally sucks. Okay, now I'm going to pulse the food processor. Again, this is 2 cups of walnuts, 2 tablespoons of liquid aminos, 1 bag of sun-dried tomatoes, and then chipotle pepper, smoked paprika. Smoked paprika is really good. That's really important. Hey, Eric, good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. I have to give you modding ability if you have a new account. I'll have to add your new account to there. But this, so far I haven't gotten any, I only had a couple really crappy, oh, I put sriracha in there already. Oh, garlic as well. I only had a couple of pervs in the comments. But I'm gonna pulse it now. Just mixing it all together. And I'll show you guys. This is really, really good. You should try it. Like I said, you don't have to be vegan. And you just eat it on romaine lettuce, or I guess you can put it on corn tortillas. I never done that before. But it's super good. It's one of my husband's favorite things that I make. I had thoughts that I was hearing from God, and I thought weird things God was speaking. I thought I heard the voice of God one time. It wasn't a consistent, like, over and over again thing, but I did hear the voice of God. It wasn't God. It was voices in my head. Delusions from bipolar disorder. But a lot of people will have religious experiences when they are in psychosis, and let me tell you why I think this is. We are told from the time that we are a very, very young age that if we don't be good, we're going to go to a fiery hell for the rest of our life. That is trauma. That is so much trauma. So it's worth it. Like, if you think about how traumatic it is being told, if you don't behave, you're going to get a spanking. If you don't do good in life, and we're not going to tell you what's wrong or right, you're going to go to hell forever. So of course we have, because most of the delusions and psychosis are from trauma. And so this is why some people will see angels, some people will see demons, but it is very, very common. Some people will think that they are the second coming of Jesus, which I thought before. Our delusions are, and with bipolar disorder, we experience delusions of grandeur. So we think that we are special in some way, or we have some sort of special power. For example, I thought that I could manipulate machines with my mind and set off alarms. I didn't know how I was doing it, but I thought that my mind was doing it. I thought I was a prophet, obviously. I am not. So yeah, there is somebody, you guys, if you saw my live with Athena a couple years ago, and if you haven't seen it, you can go watch it. I made it public again. She lit her bed on fire in one of her episodes and ended up in a group home, and then got an apartment, and she got better, and we became friends again, because I met her in the psychiatric ward originally, and we became friends again. And then recently she disappeared. Her personality completely changed, and she started experiencing symptoms of bipolar disorder. She hadn't accepted her illness yet. It can take people 10 to 15 years before they accept or able to acknowledge or convince their brain that they have a mental illness. It is not typically denial. It's something called anosognosia, which is the unawareness of sickness. But it's also with bipolar disorder, it's particularly hard because we'll have long periods of normalcy in our life, and then we'll think, well, maybe for me personally, I thought, well, I just had a breakdown and I was using drugs, so that's why I went out of my mind. And people use drugs every day and they don't go psychotic. So I've definitely had this mental illness. I remember since I was a child experiencing symptoms before I ever used any substances. Using marijuana or any kind of drug is not going to be good for your bipolar disorder and can set off symptoms. And I do believe that my first episode I would have had an episode anyways. I would have eventually experienced psychosis because of the type of bipolar that I have. But usually it manifests in late teens, early 20s. I think mine came on much earlier because of the trauma in my life, but also because I smoked marijuana. But there's no evidence that marijuana causes bipolar disorder. There hasn't been any solid evidence that they don't know the cause of bipolar, and they probably won't. Who knows, with AI maybe, but I doubt it. And you know what's interesting too is a lot of the medications that they give us, they don't even know how they work. They just know that they work. And a lot of medications are given to us off-label. For example, I take something that helps me sleep called hydroxyzine, and the brand name is Atarax, and it's actually an antihistamine, but it causes drowsiness and it helps with anxiety. And so doctors prescribe it for anxiety and sleep. And I actually really love my hydroxyzine. It helps me sleep. And I don't think I'll go off that one because I need it. And you know that sick feeling you get in your stomach, like the pit in your stomach is just turning, that anxiety, it takes that away. And I don't know how it does that. It blows my mind that it's able to do that. So if you experience anxiety, ask your doctor about hydroxyzine because it does work. Yeah, they don't know how lithium works. They gave me a medication recently and they had it said on the paperwork, we don't know how this medication works. We just know that it works. So, and then there's also a lot of additives in the medication, which can be frustrating. Like things that a lot of people think are dangerous, like red 40 or other colorings that they'll put in the medication, that can be upsetting. I got really upset one time because one of my medications contains lactose, and I live a vegan lifestyle. I don't want anything in my body from an animal whatsoever, but I don't have a choice. I had to take the medication. So sometimes we have to make adjustments for our life. Hydroxyzine. So if you look up the generic for Atarax, it's hydroxyzine is HYDROXAZINE. I think it's like that. But the brand name is Atarax, which is ATARAX. It works really well for anxiety and sleep. So yeah, definitely ask your doctor about that if that's something you are interested in. But I would like to get to a place where I can just be on Lamictal and have hydroxyzine as needed, because it's not something I take every day. I've been taking a lot lately for sleep because sleep has been an issue for me. But I also have sleeping pills, Dayvigo I take for sleep, but I'm not taking that all the time either. I have melatonin to help me sleep because sleep is a real issue, especially when I get stressed out or I'm having anxiety. I will not sleep well. I'll wake up like this morning. I woke up at 5 in the morning, 4:45. I woke up at 4:45 in the morning and I was starving. So I got up and made a meal and then took hydroxyzine and went back to sleep for a couple hours. It can make you groggy. I have to like it makes me groggy like right away, and then I snap out of it pretty quickly, but it can make you groggy. Do you take sleeping pills every night for sleep? No, I don't take sleeping pills every night for sleep. I have been lately, but it's not something that the reason why I've been doing it lately is because I've had a lot of stress in my life. I haven't been going to yoga for the last month because I had a surgery that I had to quit smoking marijuana for. Thank goodness. So I quit smoking marijuana, and that caused extreme anxiety and very vivid dreams. And I've only been off of it for a month and a half. So my body is learning how to function without that drug. So I have been taking a lot lately, but for a long time it, hey Jess, hold on, I'm gonna go over here 1 sec. My nose is like running, must be the hot stuff. But, hi boo boo. Do you take, okay, so yeah, so I answered that question. So yeah, I don't take sleeping pills every night. Let me see how this came out. It's so good. It's so good. You guys have to try it. That's what it looks like. And I'll probably make some guacamole too, but Yeah, it's my husband's favorite. I really love making it. That is raw walnut tacos. Totally healthy, healthy fat. You can add olive oil. Oh, you can add a little bit of vegetable oil if you want, olive oil. I don't think it's necessary because there's a lot of oil in nuts, so there's lots of fat already in it, in the nuts. So I don't add oil to things that already have tons of fat in it. Although you can if you want. But yeah, so let me get a container and put this away. Because this is what I will be eating for dinner. Too bad you guys can't come over and have walnut tacos with me. Do you think you can do a day in your life on a good, bad day? Yeah, I can do that. I can definitely do that. It's going to be a tough one because my mood is all over the place from day to day. I can be having a great day and then go out in public and experience an interaction with a complete stranger and start having anxiety about it. Because I have social anxiety now after all of my ups. I didn't used to have social anxiety at all, but when you experience as much trauma as I have and as much psychosis as I have, it just builds and builds and builds. And that's why yoga is so helpful, because it just slows everything down, and it's like, I would recommend it to anyone. And you guys, if you're not exercising and you have mental illness, you're doing yourself a disservice. You have to exercise. You cannot live a sedentary life. You have to exercise. You have to get those neurons firing in your brain. And like I said earlier, if you just go for a 15-minute walk a day, walk around your block, it's like, it will make a difference. You will notice it makes a difference. And then it's okay to have days where you just chill out and watch TV and don't do anything. I have to do that sometimes. I'm writing a book, some of you guys know, and last week I was writing quite a bit of it, and I got really depressed and really run down because it takes a heavy toll. Like, I'm reliving psychotic episodes. If you don't know already, I've had 4 of them, and I'm only on the 2nd psychotic episode, and I'm recalling me being in the psychiatric ward, which is traumatic, and I'm recalling all of these terrible events and these people that I surrounded myself with, and it was a lot. So I had to be like, I can't do anything. I have to just chill and find a series to watch. And I found this really good series called The Institute. If you guys haven't seen it, stream it. It's so good. It was a little anxiety invoking because it's about these kids with like supernatural powers that the government puts them in an institute and takes advantage of their powers. But it was really good. So if you like sci-fi stuff like that, check it out because it's really good. Yes, Jess, I'm taking breaks from writing the book. So I'm going to do a day in the life on a good day and a bad day. You are what you think you are, geez. I don't know what that means. Have you tried Chinese medicine? I have the expression lately that lots of issues like psychosis, sleeping issues, fear issues, etc. do come from the kidneys and the bladder. So Chinese medicine is hundreds of years older than traditional medicine, hundreds. So I am not opposed to it. However, with bipolar disorder, the best way to treat it is with psychiatric medications. I cannot risk trying keto. I cannot risk trying herbs because I know without a doubt that my medication that I'm on works. And if my medication doesn't work, it's life or death for me in bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. God, that's hot. I got like a pepper in there. Are a life-threatening illness if left untreated. We have much, much higher end-of-life statistics than compared to normal people. 8 million people a year take their own lives. because of mental illness, and a lot of that can be avoided with medication. So I'm not against Chinese medicine for many, many things. Like I said, it's hundreds of years longer, but I don't know of anybody being treated through Chinese medicine that they are living a healthy life, not on traditional medication like mood stabilizers or antipsychotics. So if you have a book you can recommend, I'm happy to read it and give my 2 cents on it. Hi, Super Tim. I have borderline personality mania. You have more highs or lows? So with me, my symptoms are irritability and anger. Hey, Jose. That's Maria, you guys. She's great. She's in the chat. You know, it's hard for me to say right now because for several years I have been self-medicating with marijuana, and I have been open about that on my channel, and I don't recommend that to anybody. And you will find a lot of people with bipolar disorder who vlog who do use marijuana, and it's a very person-to-person thing, and it numbs your emotions, and it numbed me a lot for a long time. And most of my life, my symptoms were either way depressed or having those 4 major psychotic episodes that I had. I had a lot of stability in my life over the years. That's why it was so hard for me to understand I have bipolar disorder. All through well, actually writing the book, I'm learning that I did have more symptoms than I thought I did. Through college, but it was mostly, I was mostly stable. You know, I worked a job, I went to work every day, I graduated college, I went through all my classes, I went out with friends, I went out to bars and had fun like every other person who does. I had a fairly normal life. So when the psychosis came, it was, oh God, I'm having another mental breakdown. It wasn't, oh man, there's something wrong with me, I have some sort of psychotic illness. It took me years to get my diagnosis and years to understand that if I didn't take medication, I was going to die. Because in my last episode, I was run over by a car, and I also ended up in jail for 3 months. So, and I finally got a doctor that gave me the proper diagnosis. I have been misdiagnosed a lot in my life, and so many people are misdiagnosed. So I feel like there's a lot of unfairness with bipolar disorder in the way that the outside world views us. They don't understand how difficult it is to get diagnosed. They don't understand how difficult it is to find a medication that works. They don't understand how badly the side effects can affect us. They don't understand the trauma that we have with our relationships. And there's a lot that people don't understand with bipolar. So I think it's really unfair because the perception of us is that we're these wild, unstable, erratic, mean people, and we're not. We're just people who are doing the best we can to survive, and some of us have blow-ups, and some of us experience long bouts of depression. I do want to say, if you don't know, there's 2 types of bipolar disorder. There's bipolar 1, and that is, you experience something called hypomania, which is feeling elated, having a lot of energy, and then from there, it goes to mania, which is where you start experiencing delusions, and you see things, hear things, believe things that aren't real. You have firm, fixed beliefs that are not based in reality. And people like myself can experience psychosis. Bipolar 1 can include psychosis. It doesn't always include psychosis. And then there's bipolar type 2. And bipolar type 2, one doesn't experience psychosis typically. That doesn't mean that they can't. People with bipolar 2 can also experience psychosis. But usually they experience more depression. So they will get hypomania, feeling elated and like they can do anything. And sometimes manic, which is a step above that. And then they will crash really hard. And people with bipolar 2 have very high rates of ending themselves because the depression is so bad. And I'm talking like can't get out of bed for a week, can't shower for 2 weeks, can't do anything. So so that's bipolar type 2. Are you from the USA? Here in Europe, it is better to get a right diagnosis. It is better to get. Yes, I'm in the United States, and yeah, it took a long time. The first time I had an episode, I was diagnosed with schizophrenia and put on a bunch of medication that I was allergic to. And the second time, I didn't receive a diagnosis because I never went to a doctor. I just thought I had another psychotic episode or another mental breakdown from stress. I thought it was stress or drugs. I thought it was drugs or stress, and it was neither. It was bipolar. And the third time I was diagnosed with bipolar type 2. So I wasn't given the appropriate dose of medication, and then I stopped taking it on my own because I didn't feel like it was working, which it wasn't, and because it was too low of a dose. And I started getting twitches. Some side effect. A side effect of some antipsychotics can be something called tardive dyskinesia, where your muscles twitch on their own, and it can affect your face, where half of your face will be frozen in a certain position. So it's really scary. The side effects are really, really scary. Most of the time, bipolar 2 doesn't have full mania or psychosis, but it still can happen. At least that's what I've been told by people on my channel who have received a bipolar 2 diagnosis and have gotten psychosis. I myself do Qigong and could reduce nearly all meds. Lately, I could stop the antidepressants, and the only med, a antipsychotic, is on a low dose. So Bernard, if you are managing that with your psychiatrist, I mean, that's awesome. I'm all for taking less medication if you can. But I'm not for doing that without the assistance of a doctor. And I am not for going off anything immediately. Like I said, I want to decrease some of the medications that I'm taking, but I've tried to do this before and the outcome has not been good. I've had major blow-ups. But I think if I can really focus on my lifestyle changes, now that I'm not smoking weed, not using caffeine, not making sure that I exercise, making absolutely sure I go to yoga, because yoga really, really helps me. And I usually go every day. But recently, I had a surgery, so I was not able to work out for a month. So I just got cleared to work out today. So I don't know if I'm going to go back to yoga just yet. I might sign up at a gym, because I extended my membership of being off from yoga for 2 months. So the studio doesn't have me going. But I'm going to try and see if I can cut my medicine down to just my mood stabilizer and the Atarax as needed, but it's unlikely that I will be successful. I will probably have to take the Geodon, but I'm going to get my blood work done again in September and make sure that my blood work is perfect. That's another thing. You definitely have to keep up with your annual blood work if you're taking any kind of medicine, but especially with antipsychotics and mood stabilizers. You want to get your blood work done regularly and make sure that everything's okay, because these medications can affect your kidneys. They can affect your blood pressure, your blood sugar. They can affect all these other parts of your body. So it's really important to keep up with your physical health and get your annual exams. Does Atarax give you... I don't have any side effects from Atarax at all. Hydroxyzine. So I do have side effects from my Lamictal, but they are manageable. It's light sensitivity. So if it's a bright day, I cannot open my eyes outside at all. I have to wear sunglasses, so I have to keep sunglasses with me at all times. Hope you keep getting better. I am 24 and got diagnosed at 20 with bipolar 2. My best friend intervened. Oh my gosh. And talked to my parents to make... Oh, I'm so glad you have a good friend like that. You're so lucky. We have a hard time with friendships. So when you can find a friend that stays, it's very, very special, and you really appreciate it. thinking I was doing an honorable thing by quitting my job because I was under the impression that my boss was stealing money at the bank I worked. Yeah, that sucks. Did you accuse your boss of stealing money? Because I accused my boss of things before. I thought she was out to get me. We can have delusions of persecution where we think people are out to get us. We can have paranoid delusions, all different kinds of things. So, does anybody have any questions? I've been on almost an hour and I do want to get some writing done today. So unless you guys have any questions, I really enjoy doing the lives with you guys. So if you want to do a live in the future, just comment on a video and I need somebody to tell me to do them. Hi, Renee. Yoga helps me by slowing everything down. One, I do hot yoga, so I sweat out all kinds of toxins out of my body. It's like 100 degrees when I do yoga, which not everybody wants to do, but we do collect toxins in our body, and sweating them out is the best way to get rid of those toxins. And so I do hot yoga in 100-degree heat, and I love it, and it just slows things down. It just, when you get all those, it creates, sets off dopamine and stuff in your brain when you exercise like that. And it's particularly with yoga, because it's such a meditative experience, it slows things down to where you don't just freak out on somebody all of a sudden. You're able to think, wait, before you blow up. So that's how it helps me. Yeah. Yes, work out, Jessica, work out like crazy. The title of my book is Welcome to the Madhouse. And I'm hoping to have it done by the end of the year. And I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys buy it. Because it would be really cool to be able to contribute to my family financially, which I currently do not do. But the goal is to be able to contribute something to my family financially. And at some point, not now, at some point I will switch to a community subscription channel, but I'll still have regular free videos that I'll do. The thing is that YouTube offers now community programs where people can pay like $5 a month or whatever, something really cheap, maybe even $3 a month, I don't know. But they have this thing where you can provide extra content to people who want to be part of that community. So it would be something like, I would keep my channel normally, but I would do lives on the subscription more frequently than doing them normally. Or I would have special videos for people that are subscription based. But I'm not doing it now. I'm probably a year away from that. So just wanted to let you guys know that is something that I want to do in the future. I'm not doing YouTube to make money, but I invest so much time into YouTube, and it's something that I want to use to help me contribute to my family. My husband contributes everything financially, and I went to college for a long time to get my degree, and I want to be able to use it. And I might have lost my career from marketing, but from media, but I can still run my own business. So that's my goal. Definitely will be adding mine's going to be called Slightly to the Left is Stable. That's a really cool title. I love that. It's confusing when you have diagnosis and see symptoms of each. What do you do? One of the things that's really important with bipolar disorder is self-care and doing things that you enjoy when you can. Sometimes you'll have mood episodes where you don't enjoy doing things that you love, and that really sucks. But to stay stable, it's important for you to check in with your mental health all the time. You can keep a mood diary. There's apps where you can track your mood. It's important that you kind of check in with yourself throughout the day, because we don't want to affect other people negatively. We don't want to blow up on our loved ones. And the best way to avoid that is to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. And hey, Cybercab, I am just getting ready to go here pretty soon. But I'm glad you popped in. I'll do another live. And I'm gonna try to do these at least once a month. So if you guys want me to do a live, again, put it in the comments and I'll be happy to do it. The art of, okay, let me write that down. That's the book on Chinese medicine, right? The art of Qi. Oh, Qi, the Qi Kung. That's like the dancing type of dance yoga son by Wong. I will get it. My husband can get it for me. He can get any book for me. Kit. I'll get it and I will read it. I don't really like reading, so it might take a very long time, and I've got all these things going on, but I will definitely get it and look at it. So thank you so much, Bernard. I enjoy your stuff. Hang in there. Thank you. So this has been fun. It's been really awesome to chat with you guys. If you have any questions, please leave them below. When I publish this video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I don't have a regular posting schedule, which I should, but I will definitely work on those videos. Somebody asked for a day in the life of bipolar on a good day and a day in the life of bipolar on a bad day. So I'm going to work on that and see if I can do that. I just can't really, I can't plan a bad day, and I can hope for a good day, but things might change. Like I said, my mood changes throughout the day. It can be something really small that affects my entire day, which sucks. But being healthy and making the good lifestyle choices that I do makes it a lot easier to live with bipolar disorder. Silver Linings Playbook is a good movie. There's also one that I just watched recently. I really want to do a video about movies to watch for bipolar disorder. If you want to watch a really amazing series, there's a series called Shameless, and there's a character in the show named Ian Gallagher, and I don't know what season it is, but he has bipolar disorder, and it is probably the most accurate representation of bipolar I have ever seen in terms of how scary it can get during a couple of the scenes and how outlandish it can get. So if you want to check that out, check that out. For bipolar type 2, if you're somebody who wants your family to better understand you, there is this series called Modern Love, and I think it's the second episode of the second season. But there's an episode, because they're all different episodes. There's one with Anne Hathaway, and she has bipolar disorder type 2, and it's a very accurate description of bipolar disorder type 2. The Year Between, that's one. I was watching The Year Between, and that seemed really really good. I never finished it, but it seemed like a very informative movie on bipolar disorder. Where he takes the baby and he's driving the car, and then Shameless was really, really powerful as it relates to bipolar disorder. But I'm gonna get going because I'm gonna try to write before Jeff gets home and we eat these delicious walnut tacos that I just made. I actually really want to do more recipe lives. So if you guys enjoyed this, learning how to make something, let me know. Just let me know all your thoughts in the comments, or if you want me to do something different. But I appreciate you guys so much. It was so good chatting with you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.